The Labour Party wants to give workers in private companies more of a say and a financial stake in the industries that employ them. It's a key plank of Labour's industrial strategy, recently announced by the Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell at the party's conference. So how will this policy and the party's wider economic plans impact on businesses in London? Bhavani Vadi reports.
Real power comes from having the right to a collective say at work. Power also comes from ownership. We believe that workers who create the wealth of a company should share in its ownership and, yes, in the returns that it makes.
Labour's plans include allocating a third of seats on company boards to workers and an inclusive ownership fund into which large firms would put up to 10% of their shares. Employees would receive dividends on those shares, capped at £500 per year. Any surplus funds would go to the government. This is a shoot by Jungle Creations, a tech startup that creates and distributes social media content to millions of viewers globally. So how will Labour's strategy work here in East London? The company already operates a share option scheme for employees by allocating 10% of its equity and has 3 employees on the board.
We're at a point where we're working really hard to give employees a voice, and we're working towards a sale or an IPO whereby the employees will be rewarded for their wealth creation. If I'm looking at some of these Labour policies, we're very unclear at the moment around the dividend capped at £500, and actually above that the surplus dividend then goes to the state. We are essentially taking our retained profit that we're creating year on year and reinvesting that into the business for growth to bring more jobs and more wealth creation for our employees, and actually capping the dividend. It could be perceived as potentially an increase in business tax. That would have an implication on how we're reinvesting our profits to grow the business.
The employee ownership policies came under attack by Theresa May at the Conservative Party conference this week.
All Labour offered were bogus solutions that would make things worse. They dress it up as employee ownership, but it's a giant stealth tax on enterprise.